Welcome to Khel Now TV's Indian Super League 2021-2022 Tactical Profile Series. FC Goa's overall performance last season was remarkable if you consider in ISL and AFC Champions League. Even they finished number 4th in the ISL. But I think their performance in the AFC Champions League not just impressed FC Goa fans, but the normal Indian football fans also. They conceding what Juan Fernando done with that squad during the build-up of the AFC Champions League, and the way they bravely fought on those three Champions League games was amazing for Indian football, and that shows that Indian clubs ISL now you can say belong to the AFC Champions League. FC Goa have never won the ISL trophy, but you can say that they are one of the most consistent and the successful team in the Indian Super League history. Since 2014, they have reached playoffs 6 times, and I think which tell you the way the club operate. They believe in the continuity. And even if you see, they just have 3 coaches till now. Juan Fernando is their 3rd coach in their 7-year history. I think it's also tell you that what other clubs are doing wrong, when they're just changing coach every season, sometimes changing coach during the season. And that shows that why they have been qualifying for playoff again and again. And the overall project with their Indian players, their youth development and the reserve team in Goa has been also applauded by not just FC Goa fans, but again, neutral fans of Indian football. And the overall approach of FC Goa, if you even consider that last AFC Champions League game, which they played with all the Indian players, shows that, which we're going to discuss in further in the video, that what kind of depth they have kind of assembled in their first team using their, youth development program, reserve team playing in the Goa Pro League. So today I'm going to tell you that how they can field up totally a different 11 by just keeping 1 or 2 players in that 11, and you can see that same formation, totally a different player. Regarding injury, I think both the Ortiz Mendoza and Mohamed Neville are back in the training, and what I'm hearing that they're most likely to get involved with the first team. Maybe they will not play, or maybe not part of the first game, but they are now fit and rearing to go and to play. I think which is good news for FC Goa fans and Indian football fans who are looking forward to see Mohamed Neville this season. Let's quickly talk about the coach Juan Fernando. 40-year-old Spanish coach have impressed the fans and the critic last season. They have just lost 3 games last season. They won 7 games, and which makes it 21 points, but also drew 10 games, so they collected around total 31 points. I think that's the one department they might want to improve this season. Winning more games, drawing less game, which might put them back again for those winning that league shield and getting that first place in the table. I think which has become very important in Indian Super League now, because clubs who want to play in AFC Champions League, they need to finish first in the table. Let's talk about their squad. Not many changes here. Of course, they signed Dheeraj in the January window, and he played for them in the later remaining part of ISL and the AFC Champions League. Then, of course, they have signed the Asian new foreigner, centre-back, Dylan Fox from North East United. They have also promoted various players like Papuya and all from their reserve team to the senior team. And they have signed new centre-forward, Airam Cabrera, to replace Igor Ingalo, who has left and signed for Mumbai City FC. Also, what they have done is to get more Indian players in the important position, which they felt that they need more depth in. Someone like Nongdamba Norim has also joined to play on the left wing, and and we already know about Mohamed Neville coming back from Spain, and he was already a FC Goa player, and they decided that it's a good time for him to get involved in the first team plans, and I think he has already impressed the fans with his performance in the Durand Cup. Talking about key new addition, first in the list is the centre forward Airam Cabrera. I think another Spanish striker which FC Goa have signed, and we all know that they have a good pedigree of getting success with these striker. And I was discussing with Ravi, what's the hit formula for you guys? Other clubs have been struggling to find that number 9 who can score goals, can be prolific for them. FC Goa has done on regular basis. They got Koro, then to replace Koro, they got Igor Ingalo last season. He did well. Now to replace him, they got Airam Cabrera. I think overall his profile is very good. Only concerning part is recent form is not that good. Unlike Igor Ingalo, who came to India with a with the recent form of scoring lots of goal in the leagues he was playing in. But in case of Iram, he just scored 1 goal in last 18 games. I think that's the only concerning part. But overall, his profile is very similar to what Igor Gallo or other forwards who have played for FC Goa in past. So overall, his numbers from 2017-18 season, and I think because he didn't score many goals in recent times, so I have to go back in the history and get the figures from there. He has played 56 games, scored 19 goals, provided 5 assists with expected goals of 18. His goals per assist per 90 minutes 0.67, which is not bad. But concerning point is shots on target per 90 minutes is 0.97. I think that's the department, that's the area which Iram need to improve. And then of course the quality of league where he was playing, and now it's totally different. And I think he will find ISL maybe a bit easier, but the way league is scheduled, it's not easy because you have a game every 3-4 days. You don't have much time to do recovery with bubble fatigue and everything. I think he need to score goals. That's what I think FC Goa's team is made on number 9 scoring goals, and we have seen last season, Igor Gallo scoring goals. Before that, we have seen Koro scoring goals. So I think FC Goa need to make sure that his recent form doesn't impact his current performance with FC Goa, and they have to make a system in a place for him to get more and more chances so that he can take more and more shots, because 0.9 shots per game per 90 minutes and then getting 0.6 per 90 minutes is still a good ratio. But I think he might, in India, in ISL, he need to take more and more shots on target so that he can score more and more goals. Second new addition is Dylan Fox, a centre back who played very well for Northeast United. I think I was impressed considering that his CV, as I said many times, CV of player doesn't matter sometimes, because ultimately how you play in India in ISL, that's more important. We have seen players with bigger CV getting failed here. We have seen player with not that big CV but doing well in India. I think Dylan Fox was one of the example last season with Northeast. I think he did very well and helped Northeast to qualify for the playoff. Talking about last season numbers, he's played 21 games for Northeast, provided 1 assist, didn't score any goal, but expected goals were around 1.1. Here are the important numbers per 90 minutes for him. Passes per 90 minutes, 39, 89% successful rate, I think, which is very good. But FC Goa and Juan Fernando will hope that he will, attempt more passes, at least around 40 passes, 40 to 50 passes per game per 90 minutes. Ball recoveries is done per 90 minutes 6. Defensive challenge, I think and this was a surprise because in ISL he has attempted per 90 minutes 8 defensive challenge, out of which 71% was successful, which is a very good ratio. In talking aerial challenges also per 90 minutes, he attempted 7, out of which 68% was successful. Tackles per 90 minutes, he attempted 0.69, which is pretty less. But of course, we can accept sometimes centre back not to attempt many tackles. Out of which 69% was successful. Ball interception per 90 minutes 6. I think we might see Dylan Fox not starting initially, and he might act as a replacement for the foreign centre back. I think Dylan Fox will not start the initial games. What I'm hearing that they're likely to play the one foreign centre back, but I think we'll provide them option to rotate Ivan Gonzalez whenever they need. I think rotation is very, very important going into this season because you have just 4 foreigners are allowed in your playing 11. Now let's talk about key exclusion before moving ahead. And what about the centre forward? Last season top scorer of the Indian Super League, Igor Gallo, who has joined Mumbai City FC, and I think you guys might see this podcast before or after. Ravi has already mentioned to us, both the parties decided that they need to go the separate ways, and I think they felt that they need another striker, and that's why Igor Gallo has went to Mumbai City FC. But I think considering his pedigree of scoring goals, not just in India, outside India also before coming here, I think if Iram Cabrera score goals, that's fine. If not, I think they will miss him. Also, their Asian centre back from last season who was on loan from Newcastle, James Tonachi is also left the club, but I think they've replaced him with likewise replacement by signing Dylan Fox. Another centre forward, Ishan Pandita, who also left FC Goa in the search of more playing time, and FC Goa felt that Devinder is more and more ready and suits the system better than Ishan does, and I think they let him go for a transfer fee to Jamshedpur FC. So I think these three players, I think they've replaced them. If you see, and they already have replacement of Ishan in the club. So I think that's works in their favor. And let's see that how they cope up with the absence of somebody like Igor Ighalo. I'm looking forward to. Now let's talk about Juan Fernando tactical system. So talking about Juan Fernando's tactical system, he likes to play 4-2-3-1 with 2 defensive midfielder and 1 number 10 ahead of both the midfielders. Now, talking about the playing 11, they have many options, so this can change. I'm going to tell you that what I'm also hearing from this preseason games, how they're playing. Dheeraj Singh, I think no doubt that they're going to start him. I think I'm only department where they feel weak is the kind of, if Dheeraj is injured or he need rest, they don't have capable enough similar kind of goalkeeper. Naveen always, whatever games we have seen him play last season in Duradev, he looks very dodgy sometimes, with his style of goalkeeping. And I think that's one department they might need to look into improving going ahead into the next season, not in this season. But you will see Dheeraj under the par. Then of course you have Sheraton Fernandez, a right back. Xavier Gama is likely to start as a left back, but I will not surprise if we see Hansen Pereira playing as a left back, because what I heard is 50-50 between both the players, and there is no straight away first choice between both of them. So we might see them playing accordingly, according to the games. Centre back, here you might feel a bit surprised, but Ivan Gonzalez is likely to start, and you will see Dylan Fox, helping him or rotating, giving rotation option to Juan Fernando whenever he need to rest Ivan Gonzalez. But as an Indian centre back, they have 3 options. Ivan is also there, Mohammad Ali is there. But what I'm hearing, Papuya has impressed everybody at the club with his performance in Durand Cup and the preseason game. And don't get surprised if Papuya starts. So Papuya is in my playing 11 for sure. Midfield, so many options again. You can see Albert Nogueira also, but he is not there in my first 11. Edubidia is there. Glenn Martins is there. Brendan as a number 10. And I think I would love to see Brendan playing as a number 10. I think this is a season where he needs to score more goals. We will talk about Brendan in the later part. And on the wings, you have Alexander Jesuraj and Ortiz Mendoza, the left winger. Up front, you have Airam. So options, they have Nong, who can play on left, Redeem Talang, who can play Mohammad Nabil, who can play on right. Then you have also Devendra, who can play either of these wings. So Makhanlal Chote, he can play both the wings. So we'll talk about those options in the just later part of this video. But now let's talk about this formation and how we're going to see them do it. Defending wise, I think 4-2-3-1 is very basic. You will see both the midfielders, somebody like Glenn Martins dropping between both the centre back to help in the defending. Edubidia also have good physicality. He can win lots of header on the both boxes, so you will see Edubidia also helping the defense. Somebody like Xavier Gama and Sheraton Fernandez also making sure they're defending those wings. Of course, then you have Brendan, who has very good ability as a playmaker, advanced midfielder to tackle and intercept the ball. So you will see Brendan also helping in the defense. But I'm not seeing them defending most of the games. They might want to keep more and more ball, and that's where the system of the transition will happen for them. They will finally bring somebody like Edubidia on the ball, and that will allow Alexander Jesuraj and Airam to move ahead. And then of course Edubidia can carry the ball. He can use Brendan as an option, and Brendan has all the abilities to make things happen for them on the ball. And you will see like somebody like Xavier Gama, Ortiz Mendoza on the left wing, and then of course this is the shape they're going to finish with. Airam and Alexander Jesuraj on the box, Xavier Gama providing width on left. Then of course you have Sheraton Fernandez on right, and then the trio of Edubidia, Brendan Fernandez and Ortiz Mendoza for the to share the load of burden of creativity, I think, and that's a very good options they have. And I think this team looks like the team they're going to play for. There will be some personal changes, but I think they're going to do with this team. In the same formation, I just created a alternate lineup for you guys to just make you understand that what kind of depth they have. Of course, in this team, I have kept somebody like Edubidia in the team, because I thought they don't have replacement of Glenn and Edubidia in that team. Either one of them need to play at the number 6 role. Dheeraj, of course, keep his place in the team, but you have Ivan and Dylan Fox coming in. You have Hansen Pereira and Leander Dicuna is coming in. Edubidia, Princeton Rebello in midfield. Then you have Mohammad Nabil, Makhanlal Chote on right wing, Nogdamba Norem on left, and Devendra on right. still, after playing these players, they still have Redeem Tlang on the bench who can play either of these wing. They have more Goan local lads who can play. But I think these players, if you even remove Edu Bijia and Dheeraj Singh, are good enough to play for many ISL sides. So that's tell you that they have bench strength for each position where they can easily rotate. So I've been saying this for a while, that this is the FC Goa season. They need to win not just the league shield, but need to get the first trophy for the FC Goa fans, I think. And they have everything on place now. The season is going to take place in Goa. Not advantage, but of course, you can say it's a home state for it will help them. The local players also, especially because they have been habitual with the climate and everything. Plus the continuity of the players and the coach. They have not changed their squad. It's very similar of the last season. They just added the replacement of the player who has left. So that's why they're very strong. And the emergence of their players from the reserve team, somebody like Papuya coming and giving them option at the centre back position, and they're going to add Anwar Ali in the mix in the similar position. So that's tell you the depth they have. And then so 4-2-3-1 looks like a system they're going to play. Now let's talk about the another system which they can play is the 4-3-3. And I have again made some personal change again, and I will not surprise if you see Mohammad Neville playing as a right winger. But what I'm told that Alexander Jesuraj looks like right now currently, because Mohammad Neville is recovering from injury, is the first choice on the left wing, on a right wing. But during the season we will see Mohammad Neville playing as a right winger or a number 10. On goal you have Dheeraj Singh again, but defense remain same. Only Gama comes in played of Sanson. Then you have Glenn Martins goes out, and Albert Nogueira comes in the midfield, and of course Otis Mendoza goes out, and Nogdamba Norems comes in the left wing, and Mohammad Neville comes in the place of Alexander Jesuraj. Airam keeps his place. So I think 4-3-3. Juan has used the system in past with FC Goa in the FC Champions League games, where he like his 1 number 6 and 2 number 8, and Brendan has that capability to play as a number 8. And then you have Albert Nogueira, who is a very good playmaker and very good midfielder who can keep the ball, and he has every quality to play as a number 8. Both the guys, and they can create lots of goals also. And this formation in the away games where they're playing, now season is not home and away, but if they're playing HK Mohun Bagan on their ground in Goa, you can play 4-3-3, try to control the midfield and win the game. So I think they can rotate both the formation because they have players for both the formation. 4-3-3 gives them a better control in the midfield. You can see Brandon and Neville highlighted. And if you play this, you have 3 playmakers, Brandon, Albert Nogueira and Mohammad Neville, not bad. Somebody like Nogdamba Norem who will keep directness on the left wing and provide them an option of counter attack from left wing if they're defending deep, and which you can see on the screen. Edu Bijia dropping deep in defense to help, and then Brendan and Albert Nogueira also kind of going into the deeper spaces to help out with their team when they're defending. And then you will see Ivan Gonzalez playing somebody like Edu Bijia, and then see Mohammad Neville is not going to play on the wing most of the time. He's going to come inside, use his left foot. And we have seen that what kind of left foot that lad has. So I think he's going to come inside. That means that Saritan Fernandez need to provide the width from right, and Nogdamba need to provide width from left. You can see Edu Bijia try to find out somebody like Albert Nogueira, and then you will see Brendan likes to operate on the left sided. If you're playing number 10 from the left side, so come inside, can find the players on the final third. We have already seen doing it for India and Guernsey in past, and Albert Nogueira getting ball and trying to find somebody like Brendan or Mohammad Neville, and then of course Brendan making those deep run. Brendan can score goals. I have said this in past, I will going to say again. He has that in his locker. I think he needs to unlock that, trust himself more. Not always looking for pass. Of course, his assist record tell you that he's a very good assist provider, but he can score goals also, and that if we start doing that will make him more threatening than he currently is. So I think you will see Brendan, finding Airam, and then if in the end you can see they have somebody like Brendan, Nogdamba Noreem, Airam on the box, somebody like Albert Nogueira, Mohammad Neville, Sanson and Saritan Fernandez forming the second block, and in the third block, in the defensive block, there Ivan Gonzalez, Edu Bijia and Papuya. So that's give them I think this will give them more control in the midfield than the 4-2-3-1. where of course they have Ortiz Mendoza who can come inside. But I think ability of Albert Nogueira on the ball is very underrated. Of course, when we talk about FC Goa, we're always going to talk about Edu Bidia, Ortiz Mendoza, or the centre forward or the centre back. Albert Nogueira last season have also done well for them. I think he's going to be a very important part of the FC Goa team. He's going to again give them an option to change the formation whenever they can. So I think these two are the system, and they have enough depth to rotate the players if they want. They can rotate everyone. I think other than maybe you can say Dheeraj and the centre forward Airam. So you can see Devinder playing in some games, but still he will be not at the same quality as Airam. But in other position, if they rotate in some games, I'm not talking about rotating 11 players. Say in some game they want to rotate a couple of players, they can easily rest like Saver Gama, put Sensen there. It's not going to impact the quality of play. They can easily rest one of the Glenn Martins and Edu Bidia and put Airam there, or put Princeton there in the midfield, or put Brendan there in the midfield. If they want to rotate Alexander, they can easily put Mohammad Neville, Maknal Chote. Then there is Regime Talang or Nogdam Manorim on the wings, and they rotate the wingers. If they want to rotate Brandon, they can put Albert Nogueira, they can put Mohammad Neville there, they can put Princeton there. So I think they have enough option on that team to rotate every player. Of course, they're not going to rotate 11 players in one game. So whenever they need to rotate a couple of players, they can rotate and maintain the similar kind of intensity and the quality on the pitch, which is going to help them. And I think overall, this team looks like to be destined towards success. So let's see if they get success or not. To get success, I think there will be some key players who need to perform at their best for FC Goa. And I think first in my list is Brendan Fernandes, and people might say, why not Airam or everything? I think because now 4 foreigners are allowed, your Indian players need to play. Some of them need to show similar quality as the foreign players. And I think Mohammad Neville is still young. He has the technique to play to show the similar kind of quality which foreign players shows. But I think one player, if you see his numbers, shows that what kind of quality he has. That is Brendan, I think, and he's also now announced as one of the captain of the team. Local lad, knows what it means to play for FC Goa. And what I'm very happy to see when I was going through his number, from 2018-19 season, he played 75 games. That's a good games for our Indian players, and that shows that he has been part of the FC Goa team for a while, and he can play on the left wing or number 10. But I think this is the season we will see more and more as a number 10 playing. And in 75 games, he just scored 8 goals but provided 22 assists. That's 30 goal and assist. Of course, this includes India's game. This includes FC Goa games in Champions League and Durand Cup also. But still, 30 goals involvement in 75 games for an Indian playmaker is very good number. Even if you compare with other Indian playmakers in the circuit right now, they don't have nowhere near to the similar numbers because they have not played these number of games. And that's what I want to say about young players. When they choose their club, choose carefully. They need to play more and more games, then only they can show their quality. Of course, his expected goal is 6. And he's got 8 goals. So as I'm telling you for a while now, he's a good finisher. He can score goals. It just he need to get end of those chances and try to score goals if he can. Expected assist 19, which tell you that he has played with good finishers like Koro and the Ivan Gallo last season. So I think that's I think even playmakers are some position. You might not look good if you don't have a good forward up front, to finish those chances. We have seen the Sahel's expected assist is higher than his actual assist, which shows that the forward players or attacking players he has played with at Kerala Blaster have never shown that good quality to finish those chances. In case of Brandon, it's just 3 more than expected assists, but it still shows that he has played with good finishers. But now the important numbers which I want to highlight in the case of Brandon, which has improved in last 2 seasons, is his defensive stats. But goals and assists per 90 minutes, 0.48, not bad. For a number 10 or for a winger. Per 90 minutes, he attempted 49 passes, 78% successful rate. I think he will want to improve that. That's one department. He can, of course, retain the ball. Sometimes he tries to do too much, playing those long balls. Especially, I think these numbers are high because for India, he's playing on the wings or very deep, and so he's putting those long balls in, which of course get into the increased the unsuccessful rate for him. Chances created per 90 minutes is 1.21. I think that should be good enough for any forward if he keep on creating those chances per 90 minutes. Also 1.64 key passes, and to make you understand what is the key passes are. Key passes are the passes before any actual shots or anything happened on the pitch, which of course can include assists also sometime. Dribbles per 90 minutes, attempted 2.9 dribbles, 62% success rate, not a bad. I think India is nowadays getting midfielders like Sahel, Brendan, Apuya, Thapa who can dribble on tight spaces, and that again shows by the Brendan numbers. But the defensive challenges per 90 minutes, which I want to highlight, is 5.5 challenges he attempt per 90 minutes, 44% success rate. I think this is the important number is goals and assists. Per 90 minutes, he also attempt 3.4 tackles, 48% successful. I think these two stats shows that he's trying to improve as an overall player. There have been some criticism of him not doing the similar kind of hard work off the ball. I think he's improving on that, and it's still on mid-20s. He can still improve that part of the game, because once you get experience of playing at the top level, you understand what you need to do off the ball. And I think in ISL, I will not see FC Goa doing, we're not going to see FC Goa doing most of the work off the ball, because they're likely to retain more and more possession. Majority of the position, I think, in ISL. So let's see how he does this season. With lesser foreigners, Brendan need to stand up, now as a senior player in this team, and need to stand up and show his quality and make the difference, and provide the quality which they're going to miss by just playing for foreigners. So act as a fifth foreigner, I just want to say. Second player in the list is Edu Bidia. I think now he's a captain for FC Goa, seasonal player. We can see what kind of impact he can make on both sides of the pitch. On the Durand Cup final, scoring that free kick in the late in the extra time, to win the Durand Cup against Mohammedan Sporting, and that was the first silverware for this current FC Goa team, winning that trophy. Of course, they have won the League Shield, but I'm not sure I think we should count League Shield as a silverware, but that Durand Cup trophy was very important for this present set of foreign Indian players, young players they have, because that's going to tell them the mentality wise what it means to lift the trophy. So I think Edu Bidia's role in this team is very, very important. You can talk about the Indian players, you can talk about the foreign player. I think Edu Bidia is as important as any player in this team, and his performance is going to decide that how they do this season. Third player, I think one of my favorite players in this team is Saritan Fernandez. Again, one of the captain, have been captaining FC Goa for a while. Overall, very good right back. I was going through his numbers, and defensive numbers are very good, but I think Saritan will want to make sure that he provides more assists, get involved in the goals, because his overall gameplay is very good. One of the best right back in the country, I think. And this season, if he does well with FC Goa, I think then he's definitely going to get chances with India more and more. He has been part of Indian squad for a while, but very unlucky recently. I think these three important players I'm looking forward to play. I think Airam Kabera is also one of those. These players will also play, but these three important players, kind of one defender, one midfielder, one attacking midfielder, they're going to decide, what kind of season FC going to have. And I think these three need to perform best of their powers. Now, let's talk about young players to watch out for. First in the list, there is no surprise, Mohamed Neville. Very happy that he's back. His injury is not that serious as he's not looking when he's got injured on that preseason friendly against Gokulam Kerala. So I'm very happy for him. Belongs to Kerala, so Keralite fans will be also happy. And his performance in Durand Cup has impressed everybody, and I was surprised when he was not called up for India Under-23 team. But maybe we straight away go to the senior team this season if he keep on performing the level he has performed at Durand Cup. I think if he do similar thing in ISL, he's definitely will get India call up in the Feb and the March window. And I think his inclusion in this team gives them an option. Again, as a right winger, he's a left-footed guy, come inside, can score goals, can provide assists, can also play as a number 10. Ravi, the director of football, was telling me that he feels, this Ravi's personal opinion, not the coach's, he feels that Neville is going to play as a number 10 when in his later part of his career. So he's a number 10. I was going through his Durand Cup number and was not surprised with those numbers. Durand Cup, he played 6 games, scored 4 goals, provided 2 assists. Expected goals with just 1.53 tell you that his finishes, and those are brilliant finishes by the way in Durand Cup, was very good. Expected assists were 2.5, goals per assist per 90 minutes 1.26, passes per 90 minutes 35, 85% was successful, chances created per 90 minutes 2.1, key passes per 90 minutes 2.1, dribbles per 90 minutes 5, 67% successful rate. That they have one more very good dribbler in the team. Of course, this is a small sample size for him because and his numbers in Spain has been also very good. So we can't, of course, we are excited because these numbers are very good, but they are very 6 numbers of games, some of games against state leagues teams. So we should feel excited, but we should not overrate him. He still need to do well in ISL, and I hope he will do well. And I'm very excited. I really like the modern footballers we started getting in Indian football now. I think it's time for Indian football team to get those football also and change the way we play football. And I think second young player is Devinder. I think done amazingly well in the Durand Cup and also scored few goals in Durand Cup. And last season he scored just one goal in Indian Super League. But overall, I think in AFC Champions League game we've seen that he is a kind of forward, or you can say modern forward, who can play any position up front FC Goa need, because unlike Ishan Pandita, he get involved in the game, he press their opponent, he drop deeps to get the ball sometime, and he can run behind, whenever he need to. Ishan Pandita did score some goals, but I think there's a reason why FC Goa has allowed Ishan Pandita to go, and that reason was Devinder, I think. And Devinder's this season is very important. Again, he will be gunning to get that position, get call up for India, I think. And if we want to do that, of course, he's now kind of a second behind Airam Kabara. Whenever they need to rest Kabara or in the game, you can throw him extra striker if they need goals. I think Devinder will have a very important role to play for FC Goa this season. And now third player in the list is Dheeraj Singh. I think everybody is finally impressed with him, with his ability and performance, with the amazing FIFA Under-17 World Cup. Then he went to Kerala Blasters. I think his performance was not okay with Kerala Blasters, very honest. But as a young player, you need to feel trusted. You need to get long-term project, because you might be judged on some games, and he was. Then he went to HK Mohun Bagan, didn't play anything. At least with Kerala Blasters, he played some games, which has helped his development. I think FC Goa took a punt, get him on the January window when they felt that Nawaz is not going to extend the contract, and I think he has done very well for them since then, making his debut for FC Goa. And of course, he played for India to the team in the also qualifiers. Also played 17 games, faced 78 shots on target, just conceded 18 goals, which means, and out of 60 shots which he faced on target, with 60 shots he saved, which he faced out of 78, and save percentage of 77%, which is very also good, making super saves of 28 goals, which tell you the 28 goals he has denied a goal scoring opportunity. I think amazing number for him, and I'm looking forward to see that how he keep on going this season. I think now he knows that he's number one. He should not drop his bar. Need to compete with Gurpreet, so you have to keep your bar very, very high performance bar. So I think that, and I think a couple of areas he want to improve is his decision making, when to come ahead. I have seen him struggling with those in Champions League game, in Durand Cup also. He's still young lad, sometimes very eager to make contact on the play. So sometimes whenever he need to come out for crosses, he do come, and sometimes he drop those crosses. So these are the areas where he need to improve himself. And I think by the time he's going to play more and more games, he's going to improve himself for sure. Let's talk about the strength. I think we all know the strength is the bench strength for sure, straight away. The continuity of the project, keeping the same coach, keeping the same players throughout these years is going to help them. Also, the Indian players they have in each position, I think most of them are good quality Indian players, and they can play for India. So the India international, they are just not just a normal Indian players. And the bench Indian players they are also very good. So I think these things alongside the important foreigners like Edu Butia, Ivan Gonzalez, Nogueira, Otis Mendoza. Again, these are players have been playing for FC Goa for a while. So I think they knows what is FC Goa system is, what is the expectation for them. And I think this is their season to go and win that trophy, not just the League Shield, to lift the ISL trophy. And I think they knows that there is pressure on them now to do that, because for me, they are the favorite. The favorite for me, I will not say they're one of the favorite, the favorite for me for the upcoming Indian Super League season. Let's talk about, of course, we have been telling out weakness of every team. Let's talk about the weakness of this FC Goa team. I think overall, the goalkeeping department, Dheeraj is very good, but we have seen Nameen playing as a second choice to Dheeraj. If, and of course, we don't wish injuries to anyone. If, or they need to rotate Dheeraj sometime, if they need to rush Dheeraj, the second choice goalkeeper might be the position they want to consider going into long term. I think other than that, centre forward, Airam Kabara, overall profile is very good, but the recent form is a worried sign for them, I think, and they will hope that will not continue in India and ISL. So I think, and because if Airam Kabara doesn't click for them, then they might put Otis Mendoza up front. That means they need to put one more left winger maybe put Brandon on left wing and then put Albert Nogueira as a number 10. So that might change their plan. So I think they will hope that, and they don't have another centre forward on bench other than Devinder, or then play Devinder. They will hope that Airam straight away click for them, which has happened for them in past with all the forward signing, and they will hope something very similar. So I think overall this team looks very good. They have good centre backs, Indians, foreign both, good defensive midfielders, Indian, foreign both, good attacking players, Indian, foreign both, good wingers, Indian, foreign both. I think good centre forward, you can say, of course, on CV, and they could upcoming Indian centre forward in the form of Devinder. So I think I'm looking forward to them. I'm accepting a title challenge for them straight away, not just the league shield. I think they need to challenge for the title. Let's see how far they can go. Last season they finished 4th. I think 4th will be kind of course they'll reach playoff, will be kind of, but will kind of failure for them. They finish 4th, and they need to get into those top place, 1 or 2 at least during the league shield, try to win the league shield. And I think that's what FC Goa aim is, to play AFC Champions League again. If they want to play AFC Champions League again, they need to win that league shield again and qualify for the AFC Champions League. So thank you for watching. You guys let me know what do you think about FC Goa's team and overall balance of their squad, and which player you're looking forward to play, what kind of formation you think they will play, and where do you think they will finish on the table. If you have watched this video till here, of course, you might have subscribed to our channel. If you have not, please hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and let us know your feedback in the comment section. Thank you for watching.